Hello and welcome to the Rogers TV debate for candidates running for MP in the riding of Vaughan. I'm your moderator, Dave Tabucci. Today's questions come from you, the residents of Vaughan. So thank you for your input and stay tuned while we hear your candidates answer your questions. The seating order and speaking order of the candidates was determined by a random draw, and the candidates will be given a time frame for their answers. We have a timekeeper, and I will cut off those who go over the allocated time. Politely and nicely, I hope. We will then include some open discussion with the candidates who are encouraged to speak, and hopefully not all at once. That way, no one will be heard otherwise. So let's get right to it and meet our candidates with their 1-minute opening statements. We start with Paolo Fabrizio from the Libertarian Party.
Thank you. Here we go, friends. Another election, another pile of promises, another chance for change. Yet, election after election, the same promises are promised and the same promises are broken. The problems exist today as they did yesterday. Fellow citizens, it doesn't matter which party you vote for, we always end up with the same outcome. Taxes are high, your health care is crumbling, family life is suffering because we have to work longer, harder hours just to make ends meet. Friends, please don't waste your vote anymore. Vote for a party that will put you, the taxpayer, first. Vote for a real change. Vote for Paolo Fabrizio. Vote Libertarian.
Thank you, Paolo. Next, Brian Judan from the United Party.
Things have to change today. Things have to change, and focus has to be placed upon the shortcomings of casting a ballot based strictly upon the ideology of the big three. This isn't an election about law and order or loyalty to the party that people have reflexively voted for all of their lives. It's not about Mr. Jenko's community involvement. It's not about Mr. Fantino's record as a police officer. It's not about the faux anger put on by the NDP. It's not even about the environment, as the Green Party would have you believe. This election is about one thing. This election is about you. Today, Ottawa has no vision, and as we head to the polls, they'll trust once again that we'll put on our blinders and cast our vote, believing that the Liberals and Conservatives are different. They're not. Mr. Ignatieff and Mr. Harper don't care about Vaughan. They care about furthering their party ideologies in Ottawa. All they care about and require is finding someone who can do exactly as they're told and vote exactly as they're told.
Thank you very much. Next, Dorian Baxter from the Progressive Canadian Party.
My name is Dorian Baxter, and I'm with the PC Party of Canada. One of my main reasons for running is to let the voters of Vaughan know that they can have a voice which will be strong, representing them as individuals. We seem to have lost a great deal of our democratic principles founded upon the Westminster model of parliamentary democracy through Mr. Harper's regime. It is of great significance, too, for me to remind you, and Mr. Fantino may or may not be aware of this, but the party that Stephen Harper represents is not the Conservative Party. It is the Canadian Reform Alliance Party in disguise. I represent the party of Sir John A. Macdonald, and I'm asking the voters of Vaughan to stand with me and to vote for somebody who will give a strong voice. Half of my salary will go to fight poverty in Vaughan on the 29th day of November. Please consider voting Dorian Baxter, PC Party of Canada.
Thank you very much. Julian Fantino from the Conservative Party.
Yes, since 1981, my family has called Vaughan our home. Today, my children are raising our grandchildren here as well. As a longtime community volunteer and 40-year police leader, I worked with many elected officials to achieve results and will continue to do so. For me, elected office is another opportunity to lead in a long and dedicated public service. I've gone to front doors and I've met widely with residents to listen to your priorities. In Ottawa, I will work hard to make our streets safer, stand up for victims, protect our seniors and families, strengthen our local economy by cutting job-killing taxes and creating jobs, work to ensure that the Vaughan subway expansion gets finished on time and on budget, and secure infrastructure investment for Vaughan's badly needed hospital. I'm running because I know I am the only candidate that can deliver for the families in this government, and on November 29th, I ask for your support.
Thank you. Tony Jenko from the Liberal Party, please.
Good day. My election journey started a short while ago when I met a lot of people from the community who were very frustrated at the Stephen Harper government and the things that they weren't doing for our families and for our future. I knocked on numerous doors and felt the calling to help my family and your family fight for the things that matter. I'm delighted that we are here today having this debate, because this debate is an important part of the democratic process. I called on us having debates on the issues that matter. In this election, there are really only two parties that can make a difference and be elected in this campaign: the Conservative Party under Mr. Fantino or the Liberal Party. It's important that we understand what we vote for in an election. Do you want stealth fighter jets, or do you want pension reform? Do you want mega-style prisons, or do you want a leadership that matters for our community? I'm looking forward to your vote on November the 29th. And I'm confident that the Liberal Party stands for the values of the people of Vaughan. Thank you very much.
Claudia Rodriguez-Lorraine from the Green Party, please.
Hi, I'm Claudia Rodriguez-Lorraine, your Green Party candidate for Vaughan. The Green Party message is clear and simple. If we are going to transition into a just, sustainable, prosperous, sustainable environment for all of us, we need an economy that works, we need an economy that makes sense. Julian Fantino and Tony Jenko are talking about taxes. Lowering taxes here, increasing them here for further infrastructure. And the Green Party is saying 22 cents on every tax dollar goes to paying high compounded interest to private banks, to Schedule I banks. And the Green Party of Canada has resolved to restore the Bank of Canada's legislative power and jurisdiction to both issue and create Canada's money, so that we don't have to pay 22 cents on every tax dollar. And we're not just about the environment. The environment is certainly our means, and it is certainly our end. We're about an economy that works for everyone. And we hope that you will support us and that you will vote with your values, because we do want to bring leadership to Canada. Thank you. I look forward to your support on November 29th.
Thank you. Leslie Borey, independent candidate.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Borey. I'm running in the hope that I can help the fellow citizens of my nation live like men. I feel that we should end British monarchy and its ties to Canada. We should end power sharing with these people. I believe that we should oppose American imperialist foreign policy with diplomacy. I feel that Canada should suspend all international trade agreements and pursue a Canada for Canadians policy that will protect jobs and industries in Canada. Canada should create and manufacture its own armaments, including fighter jets and other sophisticated systems. Canada should also take full custody of its natural resources to provide ourselves with inexpensive fuel. Canadians should set their own price or name their own price for fuel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now for our first question, we're going to go to a video question. So if the candidates can please watch the monitors and listen to our residents from Vaughan.
Hi, my name is Mary. Just want to ask you guys one question. What are you going to do about our taxes? They've got to be lowered. There's just too much money out here. You guys got to do something about this, and let's get together, everybody. Let's do something about this, because this is getting ridiculous. Okay.
Thank you very much for that question. We start with Brian Judan, please.
Well, the United Party would make the tax system permanently fairer by allowing people with low and middle incomes to allow us to raise the tax threshold for those of low and middle incomes. That's the idea. And close all the tax loopholes for those that are sheltering money offshore and in places that the Canadian government simply can't get a hold of it. It's really as simple as that.
Okay, Dorian Baxter, please.
The PC Party of Canada is opposed to raising taxes. Now, at this particular juncture, there could be some difficulty in lowering them, and that's why I have to agree with what was said earlier, that this promise by the Liberals and I guess the so-called Conservative Party to lower taxes, in our opinion, is an empty promise, and we've seen so many of those from Stephen Harper's government. Our purpose would be to seek to stem the tide of rising taxes and to keep the taxes as they are. And I can certainly promise the Vaughan voters this, that if elected and given the honor to represent them, I will make sure that the taxes are not raised for sure.
Julian Fantino, please.
Yes, well, I do share the concerns expressed, and these are the concerns that I hear widely at every door knock pretty well, and certainly with meetings in the community and so forth. And I am all for cutting taxes. I'm all for finding efficiencies and other means of raising the funds necessary to ensure that our country and our people are sustained in a way that they can be very, very well looked after in years, especially the elderly. I could also add that you cannot tax your way out of a recession. And unlike the Ignatieff government, who speaks widely about raising taxes, I would be a tax fighter in Ottawa, and I'm committed to doing that.
Tony Jenko, please.
You also can't have an historic $56 billion deficit and expect to get yourself out of a tax hole where your grandchildren and your children are going to have to bear the burden of your irresponsible behavior. The fact is that the Conservative Party that Mr. Fantino is representing here, all it wants to do is continue to prolong the problem. Rather than act responsibly about the issue of budgets, they continue to prolong the problem. When we handed the keys of government over to Mr. Fantino's party, there was a $13 billion surplus. They ignored that there was even a recession until we demanded that they act on the issues of the recession. And now they provide $6 billion in tax cuts when we have a $56 billion deficit. A liberal approach is a balanced approach, is an approach that will be responsible, ensuring that taxes remain down, and at the same time ensure that we spend our monies on the things that matter to our families, to our people, to our communities, not to large corporations. Thank you.
Mr. Jenko. Claudia Rodriguez-Lorraine, please.
Thank you. That was a great question, and I believe it was Mary. It's really appalling that none of the parties are talking about the elephant in the room, and that's the Bank of Canada. Up to 1971, our government was borrowing virtually interest-free from the Bank of Canada. Of course, the Bank of Canada also regulates interest rates to keep an optimal level, for optimal inflation level. Now, $170 million are paid by Canadians per day on the interest that we owe to private banks. We can be using our own bank. 22 cents on every tax dollar goes to paying down this federal debt. It's outrageous. The Green Party of Canada, of course, believes in restoring the Bank of Canada's power to create 100% of Canada's money, not only 5%. The rest of the other remaining 95% is created through private banks, through debt, to spare embezzlement, bribery, and trepidation. That's my acronym for it. Also, we believe in reducing taxes on the things that we don't want, like payroll and income, and increasing it on the things that we necessarily do not want or need, like greenhouse gases.
Thank you. Leslie Borey, please.
Private banks should not create any of the nation's money. The Bank of Canada should create and print all the nation's currency. With this simple change in monetary policy, we could pay off the national debt, all provincial debts, and use the tax money that serviced the debt to replace property tax. The Canadian people would also benefit from interest-free lending. Improved health care, pensions, education would also be possible without raising taxes. I'd like to help create a nation that rewards decent citizens with a secure and enjoyable standard of living, regardless of their station in life. An economic system with low taxes, low energy costs, and interest-free lending will be the most fertile base for free enterprise in the world. It will be a more sustainable enterprise. Thank you.
And Paulo Fabrizio, please.
Well, the Libertarian Party has always been the champion of fighting taxes. We believe that you pay so much tax on everyday life that we should all be living like kings and queens. But due to the sheer size of the government, there's no chance of us living like that. So our basic idea would reduce the size of government and get it back to an original form of just to the basics.
Okay, thank you, candidates. So now we're going to open this question up to discussion, open discussion by the floor.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised, Julian, that you didn't talk about the $13 billion that has been spent, that you want to spend on self-biter planes, on an untendered contract, the $10 billion you want to spend on mega prisons. I mean, this is what's causing the issues of not being able to get our tax rates down because of the irresponsible spending on the wrong priorities. It strikes me as very odd that you would be trying to defend your government here in this way without being able to focus on the priorities of Canadians. We want taxes down, but you guys keep spending money and creating record deficits. How are we going to be able to do that if you guys keep spending the money the way you're doing and in such an irresponsible way? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I think the Liberals should know all about
we have $13 billion surplus when we gave them the government, and you guys...
And a $100 million boondoggle over there.
Absolutely not. It's ridiculous comments.